one saw me fall that year. I kept my troubles out of ear, washed my face and closed the door. Said I was fine like times before. I had a coat that smelled like rain, a pocket full of old mistakes. I had a robe beneath my shoes, and nothing left I couldn't lose. Some men break where people stare, some break down with no one there. I learned to make my sorrow small, so no one saw me fall. No one saw me fall. No one heard the sound. I went down quiet, and I got up from the ground. No one saw me fall, but I know where I've been. I lost myself in silence and found my way again. My mother kept her worries clean, folded them with faded jeans. My father never cried out loud, he just stared past every cloud. I guess I learned that kind of way, to hide the hurt and face the day. But even stone beneath the rain can slowly wear away. They call me steady, call me strong, never asked what I carry long. Sometimes pride is just a wall around the place you fall. No one saw me fall. No one heard the sound. I went down quiet, and I got up from the ground. No one saw me fall, but I know where I've been. I lost myself in silence and found my way again. I don't need a public prayer. Some things happen deep inside, far from everybody's eyes. If I'm slower than before, it's because I carry more. But every step still proves to me I'm not what tried to bury me. No one saw me fall. No one heard the sound. I went down quiet, and I got up from the ground. No one saw me fall, but I know where I've been. I lost myself in silence and found my way again. No one saw me fall, but morning saw me rise, with dirt upon my jacket and life still in my eyes. So let the world keep moving on, let it wonder where I've gone. I have been low where shadows crawl, but no one saw me fall. And if tomorrow calls my name, I'll answer soft and not with shame. I know the the place beneath it all, when no one saw me fall. Hands don't shake from age alone. They shake from things I've carried home, from names I buried, debts I paid, from all the roads where I once strayed. These hands have held a mother's grief, a father's tools, a child's belief. They've closed some doors, they've dug some ground. They've held me up when I went down. Nobody sees what hands have known when a man has stood too long alone. But every line across my skin knows where the dark has been. Quiet hands carry heavy things, broken prayers and wedding rings. Quiet hands do what hearts can't say. They hold the night till it turns to day. I fixed a fence in freezing rain with old regret behind my name. I washed the blood from my own sleeve, then learned there's more than one way to grieve. I held my face and did not cry when the last truck pulled out of sight. Some goodbyes don't make a sound, they just leave dust upon the ground. They call me cold, they call me still, but they never saw the iron will. A man can break and still remain with quiet hands around his pain. Quiet hands carry heavy things, broken prayers and wedding rings. Quiet hands do what hearts can't say. They hold the night till it turns to day. I don't need these hands made clean. They have touched what life can mean. Dirt and sorrow, bread and loss, a working man's unspoken cross. If they tremble when I stand, let them tremble where I am. They have earned the right to show every mile they had to know. Quiet hands carry heavy things, broken prayers and wedding rings. Quiet hands do what hearts can't say. They hold the night till it turns to day. Quiet hands worn by time and flame still reach for morning all the same. So when my story leaves my chest and I lay these old bones down to rest, don't speak of all I failed to be, just lay my hands across me. They did not save the whole wide land, They did not always understand, but they held on when hope was thin, and carried me back home again. The years went by without a sound, like old leaves falling to the ground. No great storm, no sudden flame, just little losses with my name. I watch my hands grow rough and slow, watch the boy in me let go. He didn't leave with one last cry, he faded quiet behind my eyes. Nobody heard what time can do when it takes the softest part of you. But somewhere in that silent grief, I found a heart, a kind of peace. The years didn't speak, but they told me enough. They taught me how to carry pain when carrying got rough. The years didn't speak, but they carved me deep. I lost the man I thought I'd be, and found one I could keep. Mama's voice still comes around when the house gets too quiet now. Daddy's shadow by the door still asks me what I'm working for. I've had love that couldn't stay, had faith that nearly walked away, had mornings where my tired chest felt too heavy to confess. They said the pain would pass in time, like rivers crossing county lines. But some old hurt don't ever leave, it only teaches you to breathe. The years didn't speak, but they told me enough. They taught me how to carry pain when carrying got rough. The years didn't speak, but they carved me deep. I lost the man I thought I'd be, and found one I could keep. I don't need a reason now for every scar and every vow. Some things come and take their due, and leave a quieter truth in you. If I seem far away sometimes, I'm counting old fault lines. Not to break, not to stay, just to know I found my way. The years didn't speak, but they told me enough. They taught me how to carry pain when carrying got rough. The years didn't speak, but they carved me deep. I lost the man I thought I'd be, and found one I could keep. The years didn't speak, but I heard them still in the empty rooms So let the old days settle down like dust outside a dying town. I won't ask them to return. I know what loss was meant to burn. I have been changed by what I knew, by every road I stumbled through. The years stayed quiet, dark and steep, but they gave me one soul to keep. Kept a match inside my coat for all the nights I had no hope. Not for fire, not for flame, just to remember I had a name. The house got cold, the fields went dry. I learned to live without asking why. Some prayers fell flat on wooden floors, some never made it past the door. Nobody saw the quiet cost, nobody counted what I lost. But somewhere low where pain should be, there was still one light in me. There's still a last light in me, small as a candle, hard to see. When the road gets dark and the night won't leave, there's still a last light in me. I lost my way, I lost my pride, lost the boy I kept inside. But through the hurt and memory, there's still a last light in me. I watch my mother fade with grace, a tired smile on a tired face. She said, son, don't let this world turn your heart to stone. My father never spoke of fear, but I could see it year by year in the way he held his coffee cup, and never once complained enough. I took their silence, took their pain, carried both through dust and rain. But what they left beneath my skin was strength enough to rise again. There's still a last light in me, small as a candle, hard to see. When the road gets dark and the night won't leave, there's still a last light in me. I lost my way, I lost my pride, lost the boy I kept inside. But through the hurt and memory, there's still a last light in me. Call myself a strong man, I don't know if that is true. I just kept breathing when breathing was all I could do. Maybe that is all faith is, not a crown, not a sign, just a broken man still walking with one small light inside. There's still a last light in me, small as a candle, hard to see. When the road gets dark and the night won't leave, there's still a last light in me. I lost my way, I lost my pride, lost the boy bride in me, still the last light in me. After all I failed to be, not bright enough for all to see, but bright enough to carry me. So let the old road take its time, let the dark stand next to mine. I have been bent by grief and need, but there's still a last light in me. And when my hands begin to shake, when the morning feels too late, I hold that flame and let it be the last true light in me. I woke up with the same old weight, same old coffee, same old ache, same old boots beside the door, same old road asking for more. There was dust on the window frame, dust on a picture with my name, dust on the dreams I used to trust, and one more day of dust. Nobody calls it bravery when you live what no one sees. But every morning I stand up with one more day of dust, one more day of dust, one more mile to go, one more tired heart, moving quiet and slow, one more prayer unsaid, one more road to trust. I'm still alive in one more day of dust. I've seen strong men lose their hands to empty work in bitter land. I've seen good wives hide their tears behind the dishes and the years. I've seen love turn thin and pale like old paint on a broken rail. But even when the shine is gone, something plain keeps moving on. I used to wait for saving grace, like thunder rolling through this place. Now I know grace can be small, just standing after the fall. One more day of dust, one more mile to go, one more tired heart, moving quiet and slow, one more prayer unsaid, one more road to trust. I am still alive in one more day of dust. I don't need the sky to break, I don't need the earth to shake, I don't need a holy sign to make this sorrow mine. Just give me enough morning light to make it through another night. Just give me breath when hope feels thin, and I will start again. again. One more day of dust, one more mile to go, one more tired heart, moving quiet and slow, one more prayer unsaid, one more road to trust. I am still alive, and one more day of dust, one more day of dust. But dust is not the end, it settles on the broken things and lets them rise again. So let the dirt stay on my shoes, let the old road bring its news. I have lost more than enough, but I am made of stubborn stuff. If tomorrow comes the same, with no clean sky and no new name, I'll lift my head because I must, and walk one more day of dust. Left my coat by the chapel door, couldn't carry that weight no more. I had a name, I had a home, now I walk this road alone. Mama cried in the kitchen light, Daddy worked through another night. Nobody asked what I had lost, nobody knew what silence cost. I kept my pain behind my eyes, kept my hands busy, kept my words dry. Some men break where the world can see, some break quiet like me. The road kept quiet, so did I, with dust on my hands and the moon in my eyes. I lost my shelter, I lost my way, but I kept breathing one more day. I watched good men fade from town, some got drunk and some laid down. Some lost faith, some lost pride, some were living but dead inside. I learned hope ain't always bright, sometimes hope just means one more night, one more step with a tired soul, one more prayer nobody knows. They said the dark would swallow me like rain into a thirsty creek, but something small beneath my chest kept beating when I needed rest. The road kept quiet, so did I, with dust on my hands and the moon in my eyes. I lost my shelter, I lost my way, but I kept breathing one more day. There are names I never say, there are debts I'll never pay, There are rooms inside my mind where I still leave the lights behind. But I am not the hurt I knew. I am not what I went through. I'm just a tired man, trying hard to stand. The road kept quiet, so did I, with dust on my hands and the moon in my eyes. I lost my shelter, I lost my way, but I kept breathing one more day. The road kept quiet, when no one stayed, It held my sorrow till I found my faith. I lost my morning, I lost my home, but I found something still alive in my bones. So let the old road know my name, let the dark take back its claim. I'm not healed and I'm not whole, but I never sold my soul. If they ask what pulled me through, it was one more breath I held on to. No glory, no crown, no song of praise, just quiet roads and harder days. Ain't found all I'm looking for, still got ghosts beside the door, still got names I do not say, still got nights that won't behave. But I woke up and tied my shoes, made some coffee, heard the news. The world was hard, the sky was gray, but I was here another day. Nobody clapped, nobody knew the kind of road I'd made it through. But something in the morning frost made me feel a little less lost. A little less lost, a little more found, still carrying pain, but not going down. A little less lost, with my hands on the day. I ain't healed yet, but I'm finding my way. There was a time I couldn't stand the sight of my own working hands. They look like failure, look like debt, look like things I can't forget. Now they look like what survived, proof that something stayed alive. Not clean, not young, not free from cost, but maybe just a little less lost. I used to wait for life to change, for some bright mercy, strange and plain. Now I know the quiet way can save a man from yesterday. A little less lost, a little more found, still carrying pain, but not going down. A little less lost, with my hands on the day. I ain't healed I'm finding my way. I don't need a perfect road, I don't need a light or load. I just need the strength to see there is still a place for me. Maybe peace is one small thing, not a bell that starts to ring, just a tired soul that crossed one more mile, a little less lost. A little less lost, a little more found, still carrying pain, but not going down. A little less lost, with my hands on the day. I ain't healed yet, but I'm finding my way. A little less lost, though the road stays long. I still hear sorrow, but it ain't my only song. So let the evening come in slow, let the old hurt rise and go. I have walked through heavy cost and come back a little less lost. If tomorrow looks the same, I'll still answer to my name. Not whole, not clean, but soft, enough to be a little less lost. I slept beside an empty chair, with old smoke hanging in the air. The clock kept moving on the wall, like it never knew I lost it all. There was a picture by the bed of younger eyes and words unsaid. I touched the frame and let it be. Some ghosts still sit too close to me. I thought the night would close my eyes and leave no room for one more rise. But somewhere under all that gray, my breathing made it to the day. When the morning found me, I was still alive, with dust on my sorrow and tears I couldn't hide. When the morning found me, I had nothing left to prove, just one more broken heartbeat, still trying to move. I knew men who never came back from the bottle or the railroad track. They didn't fall with the battle cry, they just got tired and closed their eyes. I nearly joined them more than once, with empty hands and hollow lungs, but something small inside my chest would not lie down and take its rest. No preacher called, no angels came, no holy fire, no healing rain, just a little light across the floor and my old boots beside the door. When the morning found me, I was still alive, dust on my sorrow and tears I couldn't hide. When the morning found me, I had nothing left to prove. Just one more broken heartbeat, still trying to move. Maybe strength is not a shout. Maybe faith is wearing out. Maybe courage has no sound when it lifts you from the ground. I don't know why I stayed. I don't know what debt I paid, but I know the dark passed through, and I was still in the room when the morning found me. I was still alive, with dust on my sorrow and tears I couldn't hide. When the morning found me, I had nothing left to prove. Just one more broken heartbeat, still trying to move. When the morning found me, I was not the same, but I held on to something the dark could never name. So let the day come slowly, let the old hurt take its time. I've made it through the shadow with no reason and no sign. If they ask what saved me, I won't dress it up with pride. The morning simply found me, and I was still alive. I knew a room with no light on, where the nights felt twice as long. I knew a chair beside the bed, where I sat down and bowed my head. There were bills on the kitchen floor, a broken lock on a weathered door. No one came and no one called, but I stayed standing through it all. Some pain don't shout, it only stays. It eats the hours, it marks the days. But somewhere under all that black, my tired soul kept coming back. The dark didn't take me, though it knew my name. It sat beside me like a quiet flame. I lost my shelter, I lost my peace, but I found one breath the night couldn't keep. I watched my father turn to stone, working hard and dying slow. I watched my mother hide her tears behind the weight of all those years. I carried silence like a debt, paid in things I can't forget. There's a kind of wound men hide that never shows from the outside. They said a man can lose his way and never find another day, but every scar that marked my skin was just a door to walk back in. The dark didn't take me, though it knew my name. It sat beside me like a quiet flame. I lost my shelter, I lost my peace, but I found one breath the night couldn't keep. Grace is just a candle burning low when you're afraid. Maybe hope ain't thunder, maybe faith ain't loud. Maybe it's one tired heartbeat that refuses to lie down. The dark didn't take me, though it knew my name. It sat beside me like a quiet flame. I lost my shelter, I lost my peace, but I found one breath the night couldn't keep. The dark didn't own me, though it held my hand. It brought me down, but it left me a man. I lost my morning, I lost my sleep, but I found one breath the night couldn't keep. So let the quiet road go on, let the pale sky bring the dawn. I am not healed, I am not clean, but I've been where few have been. If they ask what pulled me through, it was nothing bright and nothing new. Just a little light I could not see, and the dark that didn't take me. There was a room I couldn't leave, with old dust sitting on my sleeve. A chair, a floor, a window frame, and every wall knew my name. I kept my coat beside the door, like I might walk out once more. But some roads live inside your chest, and some old pain won't let you rest. Nobody knew how long I stayed, talking low to yesterday. But every night I stayed alive was one more reason to survive. The room I couldn't leave held the worst of me. It knew the man I was when I could barely breathe. The room I couldn't leave kept my sorrow near, but I walked out slowly after all those years. Mama's voice was in the hall, though she was not there at all. Daddy's boots beneath the stairs still looked like he had just been there. I found old letters in a drawer. Read the first line, then no more. Some memories don't cut like knives, they just sit down and stay alive. I thought that grief would turn to stone if I kept facing it alone. But something soft beneath the floor said, son, you can open that door. The room I couldn't leave held the worst of me. It knew the man I was when I could barely breathe. The room I couldn't leave kept my sorrow near. But I walked out slowly after all those years. I don't hate the place I broke. It was there when no one spoke. It held my silence without shame and never asked me to explain. Maybe healing starts that way, and not with light, but with one day, when your hand can touch the frame and leave the room that held your pain. The room I couldn't leave held the worst of me. It knew the man I was when I could barely breathe. The room I couldn't leave kept my sorrow near. But I walked out slowly after all those years. The room I couldn't leave still stands behind my eyes, but I am not trapped inside it. I made it back alive. So let the window gather rain, let the floor remember pain. I won't curse what carried me through the nights I couldn't see. I closed the door and kept the key for the broken part of me. Not to go back, not to grieve, just to know I learned to leave. I used to laugh with my head thrown back before the world found every crack, before the bills, before the rain, before I learned the shape of pain. I had a shirt my father wore hanging by the bedroom door. Smelled like working old machine, like all the things he never dreamed. Nobody tells you growing old will make a warm heart turn to cold. But somewhere under what I lost, I found the man beneath the cost. And this is what the years did to me. They bent my back and bruised my soul. They took the boys from me and left a man who still walks slow. This is what the years did to me. They carved my name in quiet stone, but I'm on what they took. I am still here, still going home. I watched love leave without a fight, just packed its things and killed the light. I watched hope sit by the wall, too tired to answer when I called. There are roads that don't forgive. There are days you only live, not because the sky is clear, but because you're still here. They saw my face and called me cold, but they never knew the weight I hold. Some men learn to hide the flame when the fire becomes their name. This is what the years did to me. They bent my back and bruised my soul. They took the boy I used to be and left a man who still walks slow. This is what the years did to me. They carved my name in quiet stone, but I'm more than what they took. I am still here, still going home. I don't blame the falling leaves, I don't curse what had to leave. Some things break so truth can show, some men hurt so they can grow. If my eyes look far away, I'm counting yesterday. Not to live there, not to stay, just to know I found my way. This is what the years did to me. They bent my back and bruised my soul. They took the boy I used to be and left a man who still walks slow. This is what the years did to me. They carved my name in quiet stone, but I am more than what they took. I am still here. This is what the years did to me. They made my silence deep and wide, but every breath I carry now is proof I did not die inside. So let the evening settle down, let the old road leave this town. I will walk with what remains, through the dust and through the pain. No bright crown waits for me, no clean road that I can see. Just these hands and memory, and what the years did to me. I left my name in a drawer somewhere, with an old shirt and my mother's prayer. There was a time folks knew my face before the years took up my place. I had a road, I had a plan, I had dirt on my working hands. But some storms don't come with rain, they just sit down inside your name. I never said how bad it got, never told them what I lost. Some men scream when hope runs dry, some just stare into the sky. I left my name behind where the hard days stay, in a house gone cold, on a road of clay. But I kept one breath, and I kept one flame. I lost almost everything, but I did not lose my name. Daddy said a man must stand even with blood on both his hands. Mama said the Lord still hears even when words disappear. I watched my own heart turn to stone in a rented room too far from home. There are nights that never end. There are wounds that call you friend. They thought the dark had made its claim, thought I was too far gone to change. But under every quiet scar, there was still one beating heart. I left my name behind where the hard days stay, in a house gone cold, on a road of clay. But I kept one breath, and I kept one flame. I lost almost everything, but I did not lose my name. Stone to tell the world I made it out of hell. I don't need a bell to ring or mercy from anything. I just need the morning light, one more step and one more night. If I can stand when daylight came, then maybe I still own my name. Where the hard days stay, in a house gone cold, on a road of clay. But I kept one breath, and I kept one flame. I lost almost everything, but I did not lose my name. I left my fear behind where the dead fields grow. I walked out slow with a tired soul, and if the dark calls back, I won't answer the same. I lost almost everything, but I did not lose my name. So let the night remember me as a man who bent but did not leave. Let the dust lay where it may, I am still here another day. No crown, no gold, no holy sign, just these hands in borrowed time. I came through sorrow, old and plain, carried back my name. wasn't buried in a field, no wooden cross, no broken wheel. I was buried in the working hours, in unpaid bills and dying flowers. I was buried in the morning grave, in words I never learned to say, in every room I walked into, pretending I was making do. Nobody saw the ground give way, nobody knew I died each day. But something small beneath my chest kept asking me to take one step. I was buried under ordinary days, under quiet, hurting, nameless rain. But I kept breathing through the haze. I was buried, but I walked away. I was tired, I was worn, I was less than I was before. But somewhere deep beneath the clay, I heard my soul say, not today. There was a time I laughed out loud, before the years pulled my eyes down, before the house got cold and still, before hope felt like a hill. I watched love leave without a fight, watch faith get smaller every night. Some goodbyes don't slam the door, they just don't come home anymore. I carried names I couldn't lose, carried things I didn't choose, but every mile beneath my feet taught my broken heart to beat. I was buried under ordinary days, under quiet, hurting, nameless rain. But I kept breathing through the haze. I was buried, but I walked away. I was tired, I was worn, I was less than I was before. But somewhere deep beneath the clay, I heard my soul say, not today. There are graves without a stone, there are deaths you face alone. There are mornings where you rise with yesterday still in your eyes. But I am still here breathing, still holding to the line. Not because I never broke, but because I broke and survived. I was buried under ordinary days, under quiet, hurting, nameless rain. But I kept breathing through the haze. I was buried, but I walked away. I was tired, I was worn, I was less than I was before. But somewhere deep beneath the clay, I heard my soul say, not today. I was buried under ordinary days, but the dark could not make me stay. With empty hands and a weathered face, I found my way back out of grace. So if you see me moving slow, like I carry what you'll never know, don't pity what the years have made. I am more than what they took away. No thunder came, no angels sang, no church bells called me by my name. Just one more breath, one more grave, and I rose from ordinary days. There's a quiet part of me no one ever gets to see. It sits behind my tired eyes, counting every old goodbye. It knows the room where I broke down. It knows the road outside this town. It knows the names I do not say, and why I still look far away. Nobody asks where silence starts, or how it settles in a heart. But I have lived where words don't reach, and learned what sorrow came to teach. There's a quiet part of me still holding on, still sitting with the hurt after everyone is gone. There's a quiet part of me still trying to believe. I lost so much along the way, but it never let me leave. My father carried work like stone, came home tired and sat alone. My mother kept the curtains clean, like pain was something left unseen. I learned that men can disappear while standing right in front of here. A body breathes, a mouth can smile, while the soul walks many miles. They thought I healed because I stood, because I did the things I should. But standing ain't the same as free when silence lives inside of me. There's a quiet part of me still holding on, still sitting with the hurt after everyone is gone. There's a quiet part of me still trying to believe. I lost so much along the way, but it never let me leave. I don't curse the quiet now. It stayed when I forgot how. It kept a chair beside my pain and waited through the hardest rain. Maybe peace is not a shout, maybe it just settles down like dust upon a window frame and calls you by your given name. There's a quiet part of me still holding on, sitting with the hurt after everyone is gone. There's a quiet part of me still trying to believe. I lost so much along the way, but it never let me leave. There's a quiet part of me that knows I made it through. Not clean, not whole, not young again, but honest, warm and true. So if I speak a little slow, it's from the places I don't show. If I stare past what I see, it's just the quiet part of me.